Hello and welcome to TRTA TV. I'm Hope Osborne, the Team Support Coordinator, and I have with me today Tim Lee, the Executive Director. How are you, Tim?
I'm good, Hope. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
So I want to follow up from our last episode regarding the primaries. Does TRTA endorse candidates?
You know, Hope, that's a great question. A lot of our TRTA members have asked, do you endorse candidates? And the answer is we really cannot. We are not a political action committee, so the Texas Retired Teachers Association works with our members to ask a little bit different question. Instead of somebody saying, who should I vote for? Our question is, who are you voting for and why? We know that our TRTA members work so closely with folks running for office or elected officials. It's far more important a question to ask, who are you voting for and why? And that way one of our TRTA members can explain, you know, this is the candidate that I'm choosing and for these reasons.
So how can our TRTA members determine who to vote for?
Well, we really use three criteria when looking at candidates running for office. The first and probably the best is, you know, is this a friendly incumbent? Somebody that has worked with the Retired Teachers Association for a number of years, somebody that has voted for our issues, and you know, if they're going to continue in office, does that make our agenda that much easier to pass in the Texas legislature? So we look at friendly incumbents. Second, we look at folks that, you know, if they're not the incumbent, maybe it's somebody who's really energized, very outspoken, who's seeking the office, and is saying, look, I understand your issues. I understand the defined benefit discussion versus the defined contribution discussion. I understand that your health insurance needs more attention in our budget. And so, you know, if you have somebody who is seeking office, may not be the incumbent, but is very energized, and you think that that person will do well in the Texas legislature to serve you, then that may be a good choice. Thirdly, we also look at whether or not the incumbent is sponsored by groups that are working against some of our core values. It's a big debate right now about whether or not the defined benefit is a better retirement option than a defined contribution. TRTA, of course, supports our defined benefit plan. And there are a number of groups that would question whether that's the right policy for us today or moving into the future. One group, for example, is the Texas Public Policy Foundation, has talked about freezing our defined benefits plan and moving new active teachers into a defined contribution plan. You know, if there's a candidate out there that's supported by one of those groups, I would really question whether or not that might be the right person to serve in the Texas legislature to advance our TRTA agenda.
Are there any other avenues in which our members can become informed about the candidates?
Well, that's a very good question. Probably the best way for our members to interact with candidates on a direct face-to-face basis will be going to a local unit. So our local units may have a candidate forum. They may be inviting candidates to come and talk to folks, maybe not to make a presentation, but coming and just saying, hello, you know, I'm running for office. So local units may be one of the better ways for our folks to get to know these candidates.
So if they're not able to make it to a local unit, is there any way for them to become involved online?
Well, as a matter of fact, there are a number of organizations that TRTA is working with to provide more information about these candidates and how they might be interacting with our friends in the active teacher community, how they work with school boards, how are they working with our administrator friends. And we're going to provide some links to the websites that we believe will have the most information and give the biggest picture about these candidates and how they're going to work for you in the Texas legislature.
And as a final reminder, when can everyone vote from the primaries?
That's a good question. Early voting starts on February 16th. It goes through February 26th. And then again, primary day is on March 1st. And all we can really ask is that you will get out and vote and try to find a few others that are registered and want to make a difference for us in the Texas legislature.
Wonderful.
Thanks.
Thanks for being here,
All
Tim.
right. Thanks, Hope.
Again, I'm Hope Osborne. This is Tim Lee. If you haven't already, like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter, and have a wonderful rest of your day.